Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at, well, actually just one news story.
Just one.
Yeah, just one. But it's a fascinating one. You sent this over about
Yeah.
this huge recruitment drive by the Nigerian Customs Service.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be a really interesting way to kind of like zoom in on one specific event
Okay.
and see what it tells us about like the bigger picture in Nigeria.
I like it. Microcosm.
Yeah, exactly.
F Hunt.
Exactly. So, I mean, right off the bat, this article mentions, like, over 500,000 people applied for these jobs.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. 573,000
Wow.
applicants for just under 4,000 jobs.
And that's just the ones that actually got to apply. I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine how many more wanted to?
Yeah. That's like, what, 146 applicants for every single position?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, like just trying to wrap your head around those numbers.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what drew me to this story.
Oh.
Because it's like those numbers are so stark, it makes you wonder, like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, like, what does that tell us about the situation in Nigeria?
Well, I think it's a combination of things.
Okay.
You know, obviously Nigeria has a massive youth population,
Right.
one of the largest in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, the economy, it's been growing, but not fast enough to create jobs for everyone.
So it's like this huge pool of young people,
Mm.
all competing for a very limited number of opportunities.
Exactly. And I think it's not just the number of jobs either. It's also the type of jobs. These were government jobs, right?
Right, with the Nigerian Customs Service.
Right. Exactly. And those jobs, they're seen as being more secure, more stable. You know, they come with benefits, pensions, things that are harder to come by in the private sector.
So are you saying people are maybe prioritizing stability?
I think so, yeah. It suggests a certain level of maybe anxiety about the economy, where people are less willing to take risks to start their own businesses.
But wouldn't a government job, especially in a place like Nigeria, wouldn't that be pretty risky too? Like, what about budget cuts, hiring freezes?
That's a good point. And, you know, Nigeria's public sector, it has had its own share of problems, corruption, inefficiency. So, yeah, you're right. Even those who get these jobs, they might not be totally secure.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you have this huge competition,
Yeah.
but even if you make it through, there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to something deeper about the underlying structural issues in the economy. You know, we've got high youth unemployment, we've got slow growth in key sectors,
Yeah.
and maybe a lack of diversification in the economy as a whole.
So this whole event, this recruitment drive, it's really just a symptom of these bigger problems.
Absolutely. It's a symptom, and it's a powerful one.
And it's like you said at the beginning, it's a microcosm
Yeah.
of what's happening in Nigeria on a larger scale.
And for me, what's really fascinating is, like, you know, we often look at economic indicators like GDP growth or unemployment rates.
Right.
But this is like a real world example
Yeah.
of how those forces actually play out in people's lives.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like you can look at a statistic on a piece of paper,
Right.
but then you see these images
Hmm.
of like thousands of people lined up for days just for a chance to apply for a job.
Yeah.
And it just hits you in a different way.
It does. It does. And it makes you wonder, like, what are the solutions? How do we create an economy that can provide opportunity for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is. It is. And it's not just a question for Nigeria. It's a question for many countries around the world.
They're facing similar challenges.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it for today.
Yeah.
Lots to think about. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.